Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to cover a strategy called the NR4 and NR7 strategy, which is built by the Chartian's Twitter channel. Now, this channel has covered the strategy in this thread. I will link this thread in the description so that you can have a look at it. And I will also link our strategies out here so that you can have a look and duplicate the same strategy. Now, let's first understand what exactly is this NR4 NR7 strategy. Now, this strategy is basically looking at the days range. So, NR stands for narrow range and 4 stands for the look back period. So, we are looking at the last 4 days in terms of the NR4 strategy. Similarly, in NR7, we are looking at the last 7 days. Now, the logic out here is that we are looking at a narrow range. Now, what is a range? Range is nothing but the difference between the high point and the low point. So we are basically looking for a candle which has the lowest range in the last look back period. So if the look back period is for 4 days, then it has to have the lowest range in the last 4 candles. Similarly, if the look back period is 7 days, then it has to have the smallest range. The high low difference has to be the smallest as compared to the last 7 candles. So that is the entry logic that is shown out here. Now, this has been built on a daily time frame. We will replicate this on Tradetron. Of course, you can change it to weekly and test it based on that also. So without any further ado, let's go to Tradetron and see how can we build this same strategy. So I have my NR7 strategy and NR4 strategy. I'll quickly show you on edit and show you what I have built and how. So in my NR4 strategy, I will show you my entry conditions. Now in my entry conditions, you'll be able to see that I have one block out here, which is basically checking for the position of -1 candle, and it's checking for match series operation of the difference between the high and the low. So this keyword is basically allowing me to fetch the difference between the high and low. Now once I have done that, I am basically using it on the position -1 candle. So this is basically giving me the high and low difference of the previous day. So once I have the difference of the previous day, I can now compare it with my look back period. So in my NR4 strategy, my look back period is of the last 3 days. So I am comparing yesterday's high and low with the day before and the day before and the day before it. So based on that, you can see that I have position -1 out here. This position -1 is basically compared with position -2. So this is able to check the range of the -1 candle. Is the range lesser than the -2 candle? Similarly, I am doing the same thing for the next few days. So I am checking the same thing. Is the range of the -1 candle, is it less than the range of the -3 candle? Now same thing I'm doing for the next particular set, where I'm checking is the range of the -1 candle less than the range of the -4 candle. If that happens, in that case, I will want to trigger a trade, but I will not directly trigger a trade. As shown in this screenshot, I will first wait for my this high of this particular candle to be broken. So once I have my narrow range candle, I will mark the high of that candle and I will take a trade only if the high of that candle is broken. So in my entry condition, I have a condition where I'm checking if the LTP is greater than the position high of that particular day candle. So in case my high has been breached, in that case I will be taking a trade. So that is the logic that I have built out here. Now along with that, I also have a logic which will check for the position detail. So position detail is there to make sure that it takes only one trade in one instrument at a time. So I'm using position detail entry all quantity with my list name. Now in my strategy, you can see that I'm using a list called straightforward cash. Now this particular strategy has been built on cash stocks. It is not built on futures or options. So that is what I have tried to replicate. This, of course, logic can be built on future and options for indexes and options as well. So you can use it based on your particular view of the market. In my straightforward cash list, I have a lot of different cash stocks which you can use, and the conditions will be checked in all these different cash stocks. Now I will show you my position builder. In my position builder, I'm basically taking a trade in one particular quantity of that particular instrument. Now, as per your own logic, you can change this quantity to value. So if you want, let's say, a trade in, let's say, 5,000 rupees, you can change this value to something like 5,000 rupees. So that is particularly based on your particular conviction of the strategy. Now, I also have my runtime variables. Now, why am I generating runtime variables? This is because of the target and stop loss conditions. So in this strategy, if I'm taking an entry at the high point, let's say if it's a long trade and I'm taking an entry at the high point, in that case, the low point of that same candle will be my stop loss. Along with that, I also have a risk reward ratio that I'm maintaining. So in order to maintain the risk reward ratio, what logic I have built is that I will basically look at the range of that candle. So let's say the high and low will be checked. So if I have a range of, let's say, 20 points as my range, and in that 20 points, let's say if my stop loss is of 20 points below my entry price, if my target is of 40 points, in that case I will take an exit. So that's how I will have a risk reward of 2:1. So in order to build my 2:1 risk to reward, I am basically using my exit conditions. So in my exit conditions, I have some conditions that I have built out here, which is basically that I'm checking the low of the candle. So I'm first checking if my straightforward cash low exists or not. After that, I'm checking if the LTP is less than the low. So in case I've taken a long trade and it goes below the low, in that case, I will take a stop loss and I will go out of the trade. Similarly, I'm now checking if my target has been achieved. To check my target, I'm checking if LTP is greater than the entry price plus the range that I had as my stop loss point. So if my stop loss was 20, now I will multiply this 20 by 2, which is 40, and I will give myself a target of 40 points. So that is how I have done it out here. Now, in order to achieve all these high and low points, I have made this using runtime variables. I have another video on runtime variables which dwells into this in depth. You can have a look at that video in case you don't understand this. Along with this, I have also added my exit runtime variables, which will basically purge my variables once my exit trade in that same instrument has been taken. The exact same logic has been applied to the short side. So let's say if my long side high is broken, in that case I will take a long trade. A short side low is broken, in that case I will take a short trade. So that is the logic that I have built for my NR4 strategy. You can again duplicate this strategy, have a look at it, test it, and then based on that run the same strategy based on your particular risk appetite. Now I'll show you the NR7 strategy. As the NR4 is, the exact same thing has been applied for my NR7. In NR7, I'm doing nothing else but I'm looking at a bigger look back period. So instead of the 4 days, now I'm looking at 7 days of look back period. So in order to achieve that, you may have guessed that I am using position -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7. So using that, I'm able to achieve my look back period of 7 days. So this is the only difference between the two strategies. As usual, these two strategies have been linked in the description. Duplicate it, test it, and based on that, make sure that you are taking much better trades in the market. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Until the next video, do like, comment, and subscribe, and put your comments and suggestions in the comments below so that we can improvise on these videos. Thank you very much.